enhance the lives of 75 others. Please go to our website. Pledge a gift to life. You'll be glad you did.
You're watching Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
And we're back again. And today I have two very good friends joining me and two very, very talented ladies in many different directions, particularly in the psychic field. We have Pam Mahoney, who is an animal psychic, among other things. And Sally Diane is a very, very long-term friend of mine. And she does many things. She works with runes. She works with crystals. She works with playing cards. She works with tarot cards. She does palm reading. It's more like finding, what don't you do, Sally?
I know. I'm just all over the map, right?
Oh, you are. We have, the three of us have formed a group called the Psychic Soul Sisters. And we will talk a little bit about that later in the show about some events that we have coming up. We have done one. It was very successful. It was our first one. So, yeah, there were a few little glitches, but we're working on it. Anyway, Pam, you are an animal intuitive. You can read animals. What got you started down that path?
You're going to make me cry if I tell you this story. I have always been empathic with animals. In fact, most of my life, I always house sat animals who were unable to go to kennels or leave the house while owners went away. So I had an unusual ability to connect with these animals, so they would hire me to come into the house and look after them. And I specialized in animals that had social disabilities, anxiety, mental disabilities, any kind of disability that prevented them to go elsewhere. So I specialized with that because I had a unique ability with that. The trigger was when my little girl got really sick. And I had to go to somebody else because I couldn't connect and talk with her. And I thought, that's not going to happen again. So I learned how to fully communicate with an animal so I could understand that, yeah, it was time for her to go. She understood this. And even to this day, I have connected with her. And it gives me some peace, and it helps them move on when you can actually communicate one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a long process, but the kick in the butt is when I lost my one little girl.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I told you, go make me cry.
Now, how long have you been doing this for, working with animals?
I haven't worked with animals all my life. I think 18 is when I first started looking after people's animals. But it wasn't until I finally hunkered down and got her right done till about 7 years ago, when I finally decided that's enough. I should be able to do this myself. So,
and you certainly can, because I know you have. You've told me some things about Brandy, our puppy, and you were spot on with it. You were right on. So yeah, it's.
She was definitely a mama's little girl. So right now I can see her with you. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Oh no, she's. She has one of these cones over her head right now. She had a little bit of surgery done last week.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I'll tell you, I don't know who's more fed up with it, her or me.
Why don't you get one of those little foam neck pillows and put it around her neck?
Can't get them up here. I've tried.
Take a sleeve off of your shirt, stuff it with stuff, and sew it in round.
Oh never thought of that. Well,
Anyways, enough of that.
yeah, I mean, she's been looking where the surgery was anyway, even with this cone. But so far, so good. Now, Sally, I don't even know where to start with you.
We go back so far. I mean,
We really
I think I met you maybe it could have actually been the first psychic fair that I did.
I think so. It's with
Kitchener.
Fanning Ray anyway.
Yeah, okay, so that would be my third one.
Okay.
But yeah, we've kind of been growing closer and closer together after that.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, there's a really good bond with us because when I started my radio show, you were just you and Russ were just becoming a thing, and
Yeah.
and you two would come up, and before the show we'd always have a nice dinner, and so it was nice to spend time with you, and just life has just kept bringing us closer and closer. You know, and you always had a way with me too. I remember when I got my first crystal ball, and I just used it as a decoration on the table, and it was a pretty little thing. It had like a red cush at the bottom, so it was really easy to scry into because you had something to scry into. And I remember you coming up and because psychics always switch readings during the fairs, you know, during the slow times, and you walked up to my table. And you said, can we exchange readings? Sure. And you pointed right at the ball and said, I want you to use that. I'd never done it before, but I did it. And life has a way of doing that for me. I remember when I first started reading professionally, reading people I didn't know, I had a card made. And at that point in time, all I read was the tarot. I actually read playing cards and runes at the time, but the runes were still saying things to me that I wasn't ready to read the runes for people. But anyhow, here I have this card that for a tarot reader, and I give it out, and people would just shove their hand under my face and go, "Oh, you're a fortune teller? What is it? What's in my future?" And they just put their hands out. And it was funny because I go, "Well, I don't read palms, but yada, 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 yada," because things would just come through. And so it's just things have always been that way for me. I can't remember a second in my life that I wasn't psychic. I had prophetic dreams when I was 4 years old, you know, and it wasn't until I was 8 that I didn't realize that not everybody was psychic like that.
Yeah. See, I was 13 before I realized that not everybody else could do this stuff. Until then, I just figured everybody could do it, you know. Like,
it just feels like
it's deal. It was just, And
I was the opposite. I grew up in a situation where nobody did that. And when it started to manifest, they put me on medication. So that's where we have quite the difference. So it wasn't until I finally became comfortable with myself in my 40s that I finally take control and found out, wow, this is actually pretty darn cool.
Well, I was raised in a strange situation because I'm number 6 of 7 children, born into a Catholic family. And right at the point where I was getting ready to go to church and all the other good stuff that goes along with being a good little Catholic girl, my dad told the nuns and the priests to pound salt. Because I guess they told one of my siblings that getting a D was a sin. And my dad was the kind of dad where nobody could treat my kids like that except me. So I never had any of that. I had to figure it out for myself.
Yeah.
And I went to church as a popularity thing, really. And my mom always saw something in me. When I was 12, she gave me a Ouija board, which gave me the creeps. There's a really cool story that goes with that I won't tell here. We'll tell it the next time. So I gave it to my little sister. Anyhow, and then when I was 15, my mom got me a tarot deck, and it was the Rider-Waite deck. And that was the year they just started coming out with it. And boy, howdy, I really wish I still had that deck. But she got that for me, and Eden Gray's book. And I tried reading, you know, like doing the spreads according to the little white book, but I ended up throwing that away. It was too hard. And then I started reading Eden Gray's book, especially at the end when they talked about symbology and that. And when I looked at the cards through that prism, they just came to life. And both of you know that when I do a reading, it's a lot of what they say to me, they say in metaphor.
Yes. Yeah. Well, see, I didn't get my first deck of cards till I was in my 30s. And it was not something that was talked about when I was young. And when I first told my mom about it, she said to me, no, you don't talk about it. You don't tell anybody because they'll think you're crazy and you have to go see a psychiatrist. So,
Yikes.
yeah, so that was it. Now, apparently from what she has told me since I went into this field, was that when I was younger, I would know things that there's no way I should have known. And I would talk about things that I shouldn't have known about. But I didn't find out that until I was in my late 40s. It was something that was kept very hush hush. And when I told my mother that, like I had taken some courses on how to read tarot, and when I told my mom that I was going to do this, that I was, going to be a psychic, and her comment was, well, that's very nice, dear, but don't tell anybody. Okay. I have a cousin on my dad's side won't have anything to do with me because of what I do.
Do you miss him?
Do I miss her? Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but
No harm, no foul.
I have been referred to by her, and this was way back. I was the family witch. And of course, that upset my mother. And I'm like, yes, I am so. I don't know if you're the same. I'm sure you are. But don't you find that if somebody is afraid of you or they kind of push you back, my first question is, oh, yeah, what are you hiding?
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
Yeah, there's always a fear there that they're going to be exposed.
Exactly. Because if you have nothing to hide, you're not going to be afraid of me. You're not going.
And if you're as solid in your belief as you say you are, then really what I do should not bother you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are you wearing one of your lockets?
Sorry, Sally?
Are you wearing one of your lockets?
Yes, I am.
Oh, that one's a pretty one.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love the color.
Lynn just does such nice work. And I've given, I hope you said you found the moon dust. I hope you use that in some of your,
Well, I will be.
Yes.
I have used it in the past.
Yes.
Okay. And then it just kind of, I don't know where it went. I couldn't find it. Okay. And I was reorganizing the office and the studio, like the art studio. Oh, which should take me another month. But anyway, I was going through things the other day when I took the picture and sent it to you. And it's like, all of a sudden it was sitting there on top.
Nice.
And it's like, okay.
You were ready for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They brought it back. Now, I am working, and I haven't told either one of you this yet, but because it just started I was just told to do this yesterday, but I'm working on a new divination tool.
Ooh.
Yes. And I've got the parts and pieces that I'm going to need. I have them on order, so they should be coming in. So right now I'm just writing up all the notes for it and the meanings and everything. And when we do our event,
you could put that on the hands-on psychic tools and have some in the store.
Absolutely.
Because there's going to be twice the amount of room for everything. We're taking over 2 rooms, so that way it's kind of separated, and the readings are going to be all the way at one end, and then you're going to have the museum and the exhibits, in the middle part of Henry's, and then in the Queen Victorian room, we'll just have the the demonstrations and the merchandise. And I think I'll set the one end up with couches and that, so that'll be the area with the coffee and the sweets and that, so you can sit and talk and rest while you're waiting for your reading or the next demonstration.
Sally, I don't know if you would remember or if you even knew about the world I created, Hawshire.
Oh, yeah, with the Abbots.
And the Quibbles.
Oh, okay, yes. Odd. Oh, is that a quibble?
And the Poiters. The Poiters represent the inner child. They're all about laughter, forgiveness, things like that. And I'm putting together, well, a friend of mine is helping me with it. We're putting together a website for Hawshire.
Oh, so cool.
It is going to be interactive. And the Quibbles and the Poiters and the Druids, not Groot.
You know, if you watch Guardians of the Galaxy, you would be so flattered that I call him Groot.
All right.
Oh, I love Groot.
I do too.
But anyway, they will be making a comeback.
Nice.
And we're bringing them back. It is, I'm being told it's time. You know how sometimes you start something and the timing is wrong. And then all of a sudden it's like, yep, you keep smacking you in the head. Now is the time. Now is the time. And that's what's been happening. The things that are coming up with Hawshire, finding stuff with the Quibbles that I had literally thought was lost. I'll open a drawer and there it is sitting on top. So,
oh, that's so wonderful.
So hopefully we will have some Quibbles and Poiters, and possibly some of the Druids to sell.
So nice.
Or I've actually got some clay coming this afternoon, so I can make some smaller ones. Get to play and get my hands dirty again.
Oh, are you using polymer clay?
Nope.
Stuff that you bake in the oven?
Nope.
Oh, you should try that.
No, I like
so
the real
easy.
clay.
It feels like real clay. It has that same, yeah. You think it tastes, it looks like plasticine, so you think it'd feel like that, but it doesn't. It feels like regular clay.
Oh, okay.
And it never hardens or dries out, so you can take your time.
Yeah.
And when it's ready, then you cook it, put it in the oven, and then it's just like, it's indestructible.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I've got some clay coming, and it is self-hardening clay. It doesn't have to be kiln dried or anything like that. And so I can play with it and come up with some new creations and all kinds of things. So there will be all kinds of new things at the next event. Someone was asking, well, are you doing something different?
Yes.
Will you have some new
What
things?
we're going to be doing more. And of course, we're putting together door prizes.
Yes.
And Pam had a wonderful idea, and I think I'll have like Carla, who will be watching over the exhibits, and either her or Ari be the one responsible for it. But we're going to get like a mystery box, and we'll have Ari put something inside, so we won't even know what's in it. And then everybody will have their chance to kind of, make a prediction on what's in the box and put their predictions, in a box so that Ari can go through it and decide who's closest. And there'll be a prize for that. And then we'll have a drawing for some door prizes.
Yeah. And for the next show, I have raked out some spirit pictures that I've taken where there's like ghosts and that have come up. And
so cool.
So I laminated them. And I'm got them all set aside to bring with me to put out. It's things for people to look at and
yes,
interest.
Yes. And you never know what people are interested in. Now, when we set the Museum of the Curious, I'm not sure exactly what, maybe Museum of Curiosities or whatever.
Yeah.
Where we're going to have the genuine crystal ball and the same stuff we had last time, but we're going to add to it.
Yeah.
I have a besom, and a besom is a homemade broom, and it's made by a practitioner of Tavistock, and she only uses naturally felled wood, so everything has this good feel to it of wood that's a life well lived. And she found a felled willow, and she made me a genuine besom, the witch's broom, right, that you hang over your kitchen door.
Yeah.
And I'll put that in the exhibit. I know that's something no one's ever seen before.
No. And I know you forgot it the last time. I don't know if Ollie went back and got it, but the medium's trumpet.
Yes, David's medium's trumpet was there.
Yes.
And we will have that in the Museum of the Curiosity, and we're not we'll discuss what it should be called. I'm sure both of you ladies have awesome ideas for what we should call it. I don't want to use Museum of the Paranormal. You know why, Lynn?
Yeah, I know why.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, where you used the word curiosity.
Yes.
Which I think is good.
Okay. We can incorporate that in the name.
Now, one of the things I want to touch on while I think of it, you know me, I'm all over the place. But wherever spirit takes me is where I go. Now, you have published a book.
Yes, I have. The Runes book. And that's actually, for a 20-page book, it's been a long time in the making, because I've had this file for years.
Yeah.
It's just a matter that I haven't put it out there. Mm-hmm. And I've had these runes that I sell. I've been sitting on those for 3 or 4 years at least. And they're these awesome little runes, and they're tablet, the little rectangles. And I made them with this clay that's hardened with kyanite. And kyanite is this really awesome mineral that it has these vibrations where it never needs to be clean. It's like having a janitor in a can in your rooms. They're always being cleaned of negativity, so they always feel good. They always feel positive.
Yeah.
And so I finally brought them together for the last event, and I'll be selling them at this event too. And so I finally finished it.
Excellent. Now, Pam, you also have published a book.
I have.
And you had some copies of it at the last event, and I'm sure you will have them at the next one. Oh, wonderful. You have a copy of it handy.
I keep them on me at all times. I have no idea when somebody's going to ask for one. It's like, whoa, okay, fine. So it's a novel. It's a story about a young boy who was orphaned while he was young during a forest fire, and how he is led on by his one spirit guardian, and he's led to find his true path in life and where he comes from, literally finding his lost heritage.
Wow. Now, what was your inspiration for the book?
I've always loved to write, but due to the issues when I was younger, I never felt I could do anything with it. It was just something I would sit down, and actually there was an inspiration when I was in Bonavista, Newfoundland. A fox ran past me. Mm-hmm. And that night he came to me in my dreams, and he kept saying, "Slow down, you're trying to go too fast." That's when I sat down with the computer and started writing, and all of a sudden things just started coming to me. They started flowing. I mean, I had written before, but this one just felt good. Felt good. So it wasn't meant to be published, but then, I have my dream book, and I says, okay, this is what I want in my dream, my manifestation book. And when I said to Spirit, I say, when I go on holidays, okay, let's see what exciting things you have for me this time. And last year, the holidays was just like every time I turned around, something amazing was happening. And right near the end of the holidays, they put somebody right into my path that I could not avoid, that forced me into looking at getting this thing published.
Okay, so have you started on your next book yet?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's also it's a very relaxing thing for me. And when I start going, it's like, okay, I just want to keep going and going and going. It's almost a meditative thing for me because it's enjoyable. It really is.
That's good. That's good. Now, you were saying like all of a sudden you started writing and writing. Do you believe or do you think that part of it may have been channeled to you? That part of it is channeled writing?
If you knew what my imagination was like, yeah, some of it's channeled. Because my imagination tends to stutter. I have a great imagination, but it tends to stutter once in a while. And when I start doing this, for some reason, it flows easier. And I believe I'm being helped quite a bit with that. And it's much easier to write that way.
Yeah.
So.
No, I've had writings that I've done that have been channeled. And it's really interesting. That's just, I don't know what I'm talking about, but hey, let's just go with it.
Well, I don't think they're writing the story for me. I think they're helping me write the story. Yeah. Because I have been so hesitant all my life about it. And I think it's they're stepping in saying, you know what, just let me help you. We'll get this on paper. We can do this. So yeah, there's a lot of help coming through for that.
Oh, that's good. See, if I'm getting something channeled through, they just tell me, okay, you sit down, we'll talk, you type.
No, not a whole lot. See, I don't. It could be half and half, but I know a lot of it. Some of it's mine, and I know some of it is from help, because I'll sit there and, I'll have a block and I can't figure it out. Later on, I'll say, well, why don't you turn towards this and work on this aspect of the story? Well, that makes so much sense, So I'll sit down and we'll work through that part of the story. So, yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a very short break. And then when we come back, we will talk some more and contact information and all of that stuff if anyone wants to book a reading. We'll be back. Don't go away.
I don't care what the law is. I will never be a slave. That word, I hate it. It rests on my tongue like rot.
Peter, how does it feel to get paid for your work?
There are rumors freedom's coming for us all.
Freedom, that's all I want.
Chloe, careful. Real men would rather sell you across the river to America than let you go free.
Then I'll run.
I've run before. Maybe this time for good.
No! Just get her into a boat. No!
Chloe, no!
Word of Chloe Cooley's resistance led to Canada's first legislation limiting slavery. After 200 years, slavery was abolished in Canada in 1834.
Hello, I'm Liz Dowdswell, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. In 2008, carbon monoxide, a deadly invisible gas, killed an entire family in our province. That tragedy led to a new law requiring homes with potential CO sources to have alarms. John Gignac's family members passed away that day, and he shares his story to save others.
Please make sure you have working CO alarms in your home. Protect your family today.
And we're back. All right. Now, first of all, so I don't forget, Sally, if somebody wants to book a reading with you, how do they get hold of you?
Okay, they can schedule a reading to see me in person in Stratford at Spa Near the Tracks by calling the spa at 519-272-1293. Or they can send me an email And this would be for any kind of a reading, but particularly the online readings. And my email address is info@sallydiane.com. And that, of course, my website is sallydiane.com. And you can go there to get all the information on the Psychic Soul Sisters event, read some of the articles that I've written, and learn more about me.
All right. And Pam, how do we get hold of you?
Okay, you can contact me in an email at spiritualmediumpam@gmail.com. I have a Facebook site called Lost in Spirit. You could message me through that. Through Psychic Soul Sisters, I guess, if they wanted to get a hold of me through that. Other than that, I really need more avenues, don't I?
I mean, as long as if you have a website and an email address.
Yeah, I have a Facebook site. I don't have a website yet. I am making
I can
one.
help you with that.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you're having a Facebook presence too, it's a good way that people can get through to you. And of course, on Sally's website with the Psychic Soul Sisters, they can find out more about you there.
Yeah, little me.
Yeah, little you. All right. Now, I mean, obviously you do work with animals, do readings with animals, but do you also do readings for people that don't have animals, where it's nothing to do with animals, it's just about them?
I do readings. I do mediumship readings, so I talk to their those that have passed for them. Sometimes I talk to their guardian angels or spirit guides, whatever happens. So I predominantly started with that. So I do mediumship readings. I've also done some psychometry for people. I've done Reiki as well. Yeah, a few of those things. I have no problem. Oh, I also read oracle cards as well. So I did start off reading people and spirit before I got into working with animals. So, yeah.
That's a part of it that you don't really talk about.
No, but yet I used to do that all the time. I used to read spirit all the time. Yeah.
All right. And how old were you when you started doing that? Now, you said it was about 6 years ago when you started with the animals. How long ago that you started with people?
Actually, it was only a few years before that. So it's only been 10 years that I've actually opened up. I had to walk away from who I was before. And it's been a real process. I think because I was forced to stay closed for so long, I developed anxiety and I developed panic attacks, and I had very bad fibromyalgia, and I was a complete and utter mess. When I finally decided to walk away from all that and connect with my spiritual side and start doing this, I no longer have the anxiety. I no longer have the depression. And I mean, I was on antidepressants for over 20 years, almost 25. My fibromyalgia is almost all but gone. And I was literally bedridden at times.
Oh, wow.
And it's almost, so I have discovered that all these years that I was forced by my beliefs to stay hidden was causing me to be sick. So once I let that go, started doing all this stuff and reaching out, I started to heal. And I started to heal in ways I never expected. I no longer, after 25 years, I no longer take antidepressants. I learned how, and spirit, if I start to slip, I hear spirit pulling me back. You're going the wrong way. Why are you thinking like that? Spirit, literally, I'm connecting with those who are helping me work through if I start to slip.
Okay.
So it was a major shift in my life when I started getting into this, and it was a very healthy shift in my life.
It's amazing what our minds can do. And where our health is concerned, where our bodies are concerned. I'm sure you're familiar with Louise Hay.
Yep.
Who about dis-ease rather than disease. And with what you're telling me, it makes me think of her, because it is, I want to say it's all in our heads, which it is, but not in the derogatory thing, like not that it's dismissive or anything like that, but we can make ourselves physically ill.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people who will do that. If they don't want to do something, next thing you know, they are genuinely sick, and they've done it to themselves. And, I said, oh, so, like, this is in your head. And, oh, no, I really am sick. And it's like, yes, I know you are. But you have created it. And it really is amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's phenomenal, the changes that I have. There was a time where I was sleeping 14 to 18 hours a day because of the medication and the pain and the suffering I was going through. And now it's like, okay, sure. I go out and I drive 8 hours a day, and it doesn't bother me. I'm a little tired, but honestly, the phenomenal change. I've actually heard of people, and so there's Louise Hay, there's Abraham Hicks, and there's Dr. Joe Dispenza, and all these people talk about how you are the manifestation of what you have in your life. And I was miserable in my life. I was miserable, and this is why I was suffering so badly. Yeah. And I wasn't in a place I needed to be. So I walked away from certain situations in my life, and I decided it's my life now. And if you don't like that, I don't really care, because it's my health. And I've heard of people, curing cancer and emphysema and Parkinson's and all this type of stuff, because they decided and they put the work into their meditation and worked on it.
Yeah.
People don't realize we are our own, that book, we are our own placebo. We can fix ourselves.
Yes,
for the most part.
Yeah. Well, I was saying to Russ, funny enough, just yesterday, that now that I'm back to creating again, I feel like I've come back to life. Mm-hmm. And more energy. I'm more me. But I had put it down, circumstances being what they were, and lack of space to really do anything. And it's like the creativity died. But now that it's come back, and I feel better, I have more energy, and I say, like I said to Russ, I feel like I've come back to life. And I think that this is where, like you say, being true to yourself, doing the things that you enjoy, that make you happy, is really important.
Mm-hmm. It is. It is. That's where my writing comes in. I sit there and I write. And if I'm having a bad day, I say, Mom, I'm just going to go take off and write for a bit. I come back and I feel so much better. I feel revitalized. I feel energetic. I feel happy. I feel like a weight has been lifted, because I've been able to work on something that channels that and makes me feel good.
So, Sally.
Yes.
Here we go again.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. All right. According to Louise Hay,
yes,
anything, if it's to do with the legs or the feet, it's where we're holding ourselves back.
You're funny. Yes.
Yeah. So, yes. Sally, whatever you're holding yourself back on, time to move forward.
Oh, you're funny.
Right.
Yeah, and you're right. I am a transitional point in my life.
Uh-huh.
And I do have to make some commitments and some plans for next year.
Yeah. See, everybody needs a friend that'll come along and give them a good kick in the butt. And I am that friend to Sally.
Just as long as it's not in the foot right now, we're good.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So it is time for you to stop holding yourself back and move forward.
Yes, because this is very painful.
Yeah.
I
looked it.
Yeah, yeah. But I got my medication.
That's good.
Well, I got cellulitis, and so my foot's so swollen that I can't get a shoe on.
It doesn't look good.
No, I
Yeah.
definitely saw the picture.
No. But at least we have the opportunity in a situation like this that you have medication to help you.
Yes. And like Lynn said, it's me holding myself back because it's my feet, my legs. And so there's that.
Yeah.
And as much trouble as I've had with my extremities, that's probably true of me most of my life.
And get Ollie to do some Reiki on you.
Yeah. Yeah. He is really good.
I swear by him. I really do.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. When I do my crystal healings, I have him Reiki the crystals.
Good. Yeah.
And so then it's just amazing, which by the way, I give those sessions at the spa. And it's, yeah. Well, you remember Karen at the psychic fair? She used to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. Because she'd show up at the fairs with a little dog.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had her do the crystal healing on me back when I was at the Mystic Rendezvous.
Mm-hmm.
And as she's going along, she's picking up on various things.
Okay.
But since I started working with crystals, I decided to try that whole healing thing. And once I had Ollie Reiki the crystals, it worked just perfectly because I get those crystals and they're so jazzed up that when I reach that inner core, that inner field of energy, I could feel it. I could feel the watery quality of it. And
sorry, go on.
And so the crystal sessions became a lot better as far as being able to see where people's weak spots are and stuff like that. And that's something I do through the spa near the tracks.
All right. Now, with the healing with crystals, sort of how do you do that? If someone wanted to come and see you to have a healing done with crystals, what would they be looking at? What would they expect to happen?
It's very meditative. Before I even go into it, I spend 10 to 20 minutes in meditation before I go into it. So I'm pretty much well in that post-meditative trance kind of state. And as they lie down, it's in I keep the lighting nice and low. And just bit by bit, I will put in a crystal. I start out at the root, at the root chakra. Yeah. So when I get to the root chakra, I just get a feeling of where I should go next, because it's kind of like a setting of the energies. So it varies. Sometimes I'll go toward the legs. Sometimes I'll go up toward the heart. But at the end of it, you end up with a line of crystals, down your center meridian, along all your chakras. You'd have crystals on your shoulder, you have crystals in your hand, and crystals on your midsection.
Oh, wow. Now, are there specific crystals that you use to go with specific chakras, or is it just basically whatever you're guided to do?
Well, it's basically wherever I'm guided to do, but we always need a center point and anchor. And I have a piece of, I think it's called corporealite. What it actually is it's dinosaur poop, fossilized dinosaur poop, but it's really good at grounding. And the piece that I have, it has different little, it's got browns and reds and yellows and greens. And it really does have really good grounding energy. And when I put that in place, that's where I get where to go next. And I just trust each crystal on where to go next.
Yeah. I did not realize that there was a crystal that was made out of dinosaur poop.
When we see each other, I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to be rude about it, but it's a beautiful stone.
Yeah.
And it's fossilized, so it's not like I'm putting poo on anybody.
Well, yeah, right. Fossilized poop.
Maybe I should have shared that.
No, I think it's wonderful that you did.
I'm actually curious to find some now. That
Yeah,
sounds so
so am
cool.
I'm sitting here thinking, where can I go? What site can I go to find some of that?
Just any place that sells crystals, really.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'll just Google dinosaur poop.
What was it called again? What was it
I
called?
think it's corporalite, something like that. It starts with a C. It's some sort of a light.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my luck, I probably got some here and haven't got a bloody clue. And then I've got far too much stuff here to start with. So,
well, you know, that's how crystals are. You know, they just kind of get this life of their own. And especially if you're around a place that sells crystals a lot, then you tend to get the bigger ones.
Mm-hmm. Or you happen to go like hunting for them and bring back a couple buckets worth. And
yeah,
that's what I did last weekend. I got some really nice of them. The common name is Uperlite, but they glow under black light.
Yeah,
I found 5 really nice pieces on Lake Superior.
Oh, that is so nice. You know, if you're up there, you can also find something they call pudding stone.
Yep, I saw some of that too.
And pudding stone is some really awesome stuff. And everywhere where you find it, it's kind of got a different quality, a different makeup. So the pudding stone is specific to a region.
There was a couple other stones, and when I hit it with a black light, it glowed bright red, like a blood red. And there was another one that glowed blue. But it only works if the flashlight's a certain length, and you have to have the right type of black light. It has to be a powerful 365 or something like that. And it's just, you walk along that beach at night, and it's like everything was just popping colors. It was just so gorgeous. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But now I've got another box full of rocks.
The shores of Lake Huron and Lake Superior are just awesome for rock hunting and for I actually found a piece along Lake Huron one time. I found I believe it's either a hammerhead or a grinder, but it's a piece of stuff. It's a green stone. I think it's a green agate of some sort. And but it was just right there with everything else.
When I went to South Dakota last year, a couple of years ago, on the way back, I take my parents with me, and on the way back, my dad says, "So what are you going to declare?" I said, well, of course, we got our duty free, right? Dad says, "Yeah, but you've got half of South Dakota in the back of the van too." Yes, Dad. So yeah,
declare a pound of dirt.
But I got the stuff that you get out there is the raw pieces of tiger's eye and quartz, rose quartz and tourmaline, and and the bubblegum agate. It's just such beautiful stuff. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, no, too much.
You mind a story. Years ago, when I lived down in the Niagara area, and I used to smoke, I would go over to the States because it wasn't that far. Take a trip over there, get cigarettes, a whole lot cheaper. And coming back to customs, they asked me if I had anything that I wanted to declare, that I would like to declare. I said, no. I was telling the truth. I didn't want to declare it. You got to be careful how you ask your questions, right?
That's right.
You're confessing to a federal crime on live TV?
Oh, that was a long time ago. And they asked, hey, I did not lie. I did not lie because they asked me if I wanted to declare.
Right.
Right?
That's right.
That's right.
Hey, my logic works for me.
Okay.
So, Sally, what are, you work with runes and the crystals and the cards now, and you do palmistry as well, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Now, what are some of the other, there's so many things you do. Are there other things that you do?
Oh my God. It's like with me, I could pick up literally anything and read it.
Yes.
Literally anything. Because it's just a tool. It's just something to make it fun and to engage people a little bit more. So I could read with toothpicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. See that.
I can't remember who it was, what his name was, but way back, and he didn't do any of Stan and Ray's shows, I don't think, but he did some of Don Nussbaum's shows, like the Toronto show. He read Bones. I don't know if it was chicken.
Oh, wow.
Was it chicken bones that he had?
Oh.
He had a bag of bones, like real bones, and he'd lay them out, and that's how he did his readings, with bones.
Oh,
that actually happens.
Interesting. New Orleans.
Common in the southern parts of the states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that goes right along with the old-fashioned Creole voodoo.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say that, but yes.
Oh, you never know what's going to come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Do you remember Bruce Meyer? Speaking of not knowing what would come out of your mouth, you remember Bruce Meyer, right, Lynn?
Oh
my goodness. Well, he'd be on my show when I had the show in Cambridge, the radio show. And the first time he was on, of course, I have a DJ at the board, and there's a little red button. That's a dump button, because what we do is we'd have a 7.5 minute delay. Yeah. So everything that came out over the air was delayed by 7.5 minutes. That way, if somebody dropped an F-bomb or something like that, they'd hit the red button and we'd automatically go live and go to commercial as soon as possible, right? Yeah. So Bruce gets on, and we had a caller, and he was saying something about her chewing gum and drinking soda and farting at the same time. And as soon as he started talking about farting, Early's finger went out to that button, and he kept it on that button every time Bruce was there.
Do you remember Nelson Guyette?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Oh God, Pam, you would have loved this guy. When he did his talk, he talked about the power of positive thinking, and oh God, I don't know how old he was at the time.
Would 64.
Pardon?
64.
Was he 64? But
yeah, I heard every word of every lecture he ever gave.
Oh yeah, but he would tell people he was in his 80s. He would tell people that he was older than he actually was. And the whole thing was, see, it's power of positive thinking. I feel young, I think young, I look young, but I'm really this old.
And he's also Count Arcard?
Yeah, Count Alucard.
Alucard, right.
Dracula backwards. Yeah. Yes, he had fun with that. And then Ted Silverhand. Remember him?
Yes, I didn't meet him personally, but he was a friend of Ollie's. And Ollie's got a wonderful turquoise cuff that he made.
Okay.
And it's made out of silver. I swear it's got over an ounce of silver in it. Thing is big and heavy.
Yeah, well, we all went out for dinner one night. We were doing a show, and we all went out for dinner. And I had Melissa was with me, because my kids would come as well to help. And Ted offered me 5 horses for Melissa for her hand in marriage to his son. I turned it down. Sometimes I wonder why.
Because you didn't put in any goats with it.
Yeah, but we used to have a lot of fun. And then the energies changed at the show. They did. And it wasn't so much fun anymore. And I have done a few in recent years. And, like you said, we would go around, especially if we weren't busy, we'd go around and we'd do readings for each other.
We were just one big happy family.
Yeah. But now it's all about money, and no one's going to give anyone a free reading. It's like, well, come on, and they don't even give you a discount. They charge you full price. And it's like, no, you know what? It's that sense of family. Because we were one big family.
Yeah, and it was always, money didn't change hands. It was always just switch readings.
Yes, we would each do a reading for each other.
Yeah,
and
that was great.
It was fun, you know.
But it's become commercialized now. It really has.
Oh, has it ever? Has it ever? And it has just become all about, sorry, I'm looking out across the road, see what the neighbor's up to, being nosy. But anyway, we are coming to the end of the show. And so once again, if you can very quickly just give out your contact information. Sally, we'll start with you.
Okay, for an in-person reading, call Spa Near the Tracks at 519-272-1293. For an online reading with me, send me an email at info@sallydiane.com or visit my website, sallydiane.com.
All right, and Pam.
I have a Facebook site called Lost in Spirit. I also have an email, which is at spiritualmediumpam@gmail.com. You can get a hold of me there or look me up on the Psychic Soul Sisters Facebook site or website.
Awesome. And Sally, we were talking about your Rider-Waite and that. I have my original.
Oh, I am so jelly. Look at that. Those are the best kind of cards where they're all worn out like that.
Yeah. Yes, but this is my original deck of Rider-Waite, so they've got to be about 40 years old.
Nice.
Yes, and I have, where did I put it? And I have this wonderful little pouch.
I wonder where you got that.
That's right. A very, very special friend made it for me. And it fits my cards just perfect. Anyway.
Yes. Thank you.
It is, again, thank you both of you for being a guest on the show. And I look forward to spending time with you again. And Psychic Soul Sisters, end of September.
See you September 29th.
That's right. Anyway, bye for now. And remember, keep laughter in your heart. Bye.
Bye.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
We can be hurt. We can be bruised. We can be broken. Slowed down. Confused, and even numbed. But we can't be defeated. We're built on a foundation that's strong, our mission unwavering, and together we'll